lush, vibrant, varied. There are places on Earth exuberantly bursting with life that they also sustain other life.
Paglalambat namin, yan ang halos ikinabuhay ng magulang namin sa amin.
Kay dira nagapangitlog ang isda. Hindi lang kay isda, alimango, kasag, pasayan.
Wala nang mga puno, tas wala kami pagkukuha ng tubig.
Aside from providing livelihood, biodiversity in these places also protects against disasters brought about by climate change. And yet, these places are often the most threatened. Their future and whether they thrive also holds the future for other life. Such places richly bursting with life are usually key biodiversity areas, which have high concentration of flora and fauna, usually not found anywhere else in the world. Having more species in an area also ensures a stable supply of ecosystem goods and services. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources, particularly its Biodiversity Management Bureau, or BMB, has identified 228 KBAs in the country.
It's important to protect the key biodiversity areas because these are the remaining bastions of the unique biological diversity in the Philippines.
BMB works to get these KBAs protection through Protected Area Enactment. Protecting KBAs is aligned with BMB's goal to meet local targets that contribute to the country's global commitments on biodiversity. However, less than half of the KBAs then had protection, and even those protected under law were not always sufficiently protected. BMB and the Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit, or GIZ, conducted the National Management Effectiveness Capacity Assessment, a comprehensive study that found 25% of protected areas have poor to fair management.
Even if you have many protected areas, if they are not effectively managed, then it's just protected area on paper.
To address this, BMB worked with the German Federal Ministry for the Environment, Nature Conservation, Building and Nuclear Safety, or BMUB, through GIZ to jointly implement the Protected Area Management Enhancement Project, or Pame. Pame aimed to enhance the management of existing protected areas and establish new ones in selected KBAs.
The value of these ecosystems where these special species live is not yet realized.
The project channeled technical assistance such as trainings on protected area management for DENR employees and local stakeholders, especially the community. Over 17,000 people from all levels were trained. For law enforcement training in particular, Pame also complemented other organizations' initiatives, like the introduction of the Smart Lawin app for patrolling. Through Pame, protected areas became better managed, and over the past 5 years, new ones were established. The communities increased their awareness on biodiversity through information, education, and communication. They learned to craft better policies and ordinances and strengthened their law enforcement. These resulted in reduction of violations, which will ultimately improve their biodiversity, livelihood, and quality of life. The reported figures represent real people and communities working hard to protect biodiversity in their respective areas. What follows are some of their stories. Among protected areas, Batanes in northern Philippines is the only one that covers an entire province. It is cared for by the Ivitans, fueled by their indigenous pride and love for their home.
Dito sa Batanes, there is still the harmonious relationship of man and nature.
Ayaw namin na nasisira yung forest namin. Ako kasi pag pinag-uusapan kasi yung Batanes, talagang proud na proud kami na Ivatan kami.
I-balanse ho natin, hindi yung natutuwa lang tayo na maraming turista.
Together, stakeholders updated Batanes Management Plan.
Yung information na nakikita mo lang dito ay result ng Resource Basic Inventory in 1997. And since that time, wala nang updated information. So with the help of the Pame project, we were able to update this and consolidate all researches conducted within Batanes Protected Landscape and Seascape by outside researchers.
The plan added new areas as strict protection zones, including those rich in Ivatan tradition, ensuring that their culture will live on. Plans in the municipal and barangay level are also being aligned with the Protected Area Management Plan.
Objective is to harmonize all of these plans.
With Pame's support, the DENR intensified protection through trainings on biodiversity monitoring and wildlife enforcement.
It's always a marriage of the Ivatan with nature. The heart and soul of the Ivatan is a success story of how we successfully manage ourselves in a harsh, very, very harsh environment. And that is Batanes.
In nearby provinces, Pame also supported the introduction of an integrated ecosystem management approach for preparing conservation-oriented comprehensive land use plans. 9 LGUs in Cagayan and Apayao were trained to plan, design, and manage the resources together holistically. These experiences are expected to support HLURB's enhanced guidebooks advocating for a ridge-to-reef approach to planning. Meanwhile, in southwestern Philippines is Palawan, among the country's richest in biodiversity for its oldest original primary forest and high concentration of endemic species. Cleopatra's Needle in Puerto Princesa has among the oldest forests, richest flora and fauna, and is also a watershed. It spans 7 barangays. It is also the home of the Bataks. In partnership with the Center for Sustainability, the project helped facilitate Cleopatra's declaration as a critical habitat to also secure the Batak's home.
They helped us with the free, prior, informed consent process, which we did with the Katatubo.
Naputol na yung pagpasok ng ibang mga dayuhan sa kagubatan namin.
Those who do come are usually mountain climbers led by the Bataks. 25 from the tribe were trained to be ecotourism guides to have additional income and shift their usual forest activities to ecotourism.
Yung mga dumarating mga bisita, nagagandahan sila. Kami na rin ngayon, nagagandahan na rin kami kasi alam namin na yun pala ay importante.
Stakeholders were also trained on management planning for Cleopatra.
This is going to be the basis of the entire critical habitat. So they're already drawing in all of the stakeholders to start planning when GIZ leaves, when CS leaves. So what is their overall management plan? Not just in the next 6 months, but in the next year, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years.
Meanwhile, around 80 kilometers up north from Puerto Princesa is the Green Island Bay in Rojas, where MPAs across 14 barangays are already quite well protected by its women-led sea patrol.
Very eager sila na makatuwang ko sa protections of the environment kasi
nakikita na maasahan din pala ang mga kababaihan pagdating sa pangkalikasan na pangangalaga.
Kami ang nakikipag-usap doon sa mga illegalista, medyo naniniwala at hindi na nagmamatigas yung mga illegalista pagdating sa babae, pag babae ang kausap nila. Ang babae lahat dito kumikilos, mangisda, manghuli ng illegalista, at kung ano-ano pa.
This patrolling was further refined when Pame trained local planners in GIS to help them identify and map the buffer zones in their MPAs. This zoning was also integrated in each barangay's management plan, which was key to consolidating all plans into one for municipal government intervention.
Yun ang basihan din para magkaroon kami ng mandato to expend something amount for the MPA dahil kasama nga siya sa development plan.
Pag dumami ang isda through the protections of our MPAs ay mayaangat ang bayan ng Roxas.
Farther up north, the largest freshwater lake in Palawan, Lake Mangwawen Taytay, is known for its old, original forests and rare endemic fish species. Guarded by locals, its protection was improved through provision of patrolling equipment.
Mayroon na po kaming sasakyan na mabilis sa punta doon. Kung mayroong illegal doon, mabilis kaming makatakbo papunta doon na hindi nila maririnig kaagad.
Pame also facilitated a socio-economic survey that revealed the profile of the community and their activities like fishing around the lake and the extent of their environmental impact.
We were doing some surveys in the lake in terms of socio-economic situation in Lake Mongol. However, what happens is sometimes we miss some aspects of it, and sometimes what we miss are actually the important ones as well. But with ESRPAW, it has covered pretty much everything that we need for the socio-economic profile of Lake Mangwao, and that has been inputted into the ongoing management planning for the lake as well.
The winner of Selfie for Biodiversity, a photo contest highlighting biodiversity conservation organized by GIZ and BMB, visited the lake and appreciated its beauty from conservation efforts. He also has a message for fellow travelers.
I want to influence the others na hindi lang puro Instagram picture, dapat we should learn how to enjoy and how to take care of the environment.
Meanwhile, because of tourist influx, Enchanted River, one of northern Mindanao's most famous attractions, was found to be in need of conservation.
In fact, they had a maximum count or a single count of about 2,000 people coming in just one single day. So with that number, you can just estimate or judge how much of an impact it is to the environment.
Pame partnered with the Filipino cave divers to biophysically document the cave system and with the University of San Carlos to do the scientific analysis, particularly on water quality, sediments, organisms, and more. The science-based findings guided the LGU to temporarily close the river for rehabilitation and rezoning. Studies like these also guided management planning in other cave systems and other unique ecosystems. Meanwhile, in Western Visayas, are communities politically separated by governments, but are working together as one to protect what binds them, the waters on their coasts and wetlands.
NOCWAMA actually, a Negros Occidental Coastal Wetlands Management Alliance, was created because of our objective, which is to protect the coastal wetlands in the province of Negros Occidental, especially the 10-member LGUs of NOCWAMA.
To guide their conservation, the 10 LGUs did bird counts and other assessments of their wetlands with the help of experts.
This has more than 20,000 species of birds that are migrating from as far as Alaska to China and stopping over in these wetlands.
With the high bird count and other data gathered by the LGUs and partners, the wetlands received international recognitions.
To ensure conservation, technical working groups from 10 LGUs met and drafted ordinances to make their wetlands local conservation areas.
Each member LGUs being in the technical working group shared the experiences, shared the best practices with the other LGU.
Locals on the ground also work to protect the wetlands while enjoying the latter's resources.
Tungod kay gintagaan kami training sang pagi sa Banwa, sa Pulpandan, pagi sa LCC, kag sa Lasal. Dito na kag na kuanamon akong paano mo palanggaon ang mga pispis, erwadi dolphins kag ang dunang manggad sa sining kalibutan.
Proud na namon nga kami nag-volunteer sa unang panahon, ginayamot kami nga hala kamo obra way man sweldo. Imagine sobra 2 ka bulan ma'am, wala kami sweldo. Sige lang kami bubugsok sang kusog, kagutuman kami kaway kami bakal pagkaon. Dog emotional ko kay.
Meanwhile, some community members plant mangrove as part of reforestation in LGUs. Among the 10 LGUs, Pame worked on an added project with Bago and Pulupandan, as they are home to the endangered Irrawaddy dolphins.
We were able to discover that this area here, is a very small area, is actually a core habitat for Irrawaddy dolphins. Their presence here actually strengthens the cause for protection of the wetlands and the coastal areas.
There is enthusiasm and hope for the Alliance to continue working as one.
When partners will not care kung sino yung nagsimula, kung sino yung makikilala sa huli, kung sino yung marirecognize sa huli, and we just work, that is how this coastal wetland can be sustained.
Pame also supported wetlands in other regions. These stories of people protecting the environment are only some among the many in Pame's 160 supported sites.
Yet the stories and the work do not end here. Sustainability is vital.
I'm very convinced that our partner will continue their effort to protect these very special ecosystems. They had already the capacity and also the willingness to continue.
With the passage of the E9 Pass Bill, communities and other stakeholders will have a legal basis in protecting their KBAs.
If the E-NIPAS Act is passed, we will have short-circuited a lot of the problems we encountered in the implementation of the NIPAS Act. The new provisions of the E-NIPAS will reduce the obstacles of local managers. It will allow them to do what the management plan says and conserve and protect better.
Pame's trainings for management planning at the sites also ensured better management in the future. What does the future hold for the Philippines KBAs?
In a world where everything is connected, a simple action can have a far-reaching impact.
I hope that we are able to engage more people in helping us improve the management of our protected areas. There are still threats around. Biodiversity is linked to their survival, to their daily lives.
Siguro turuan lang yung mga bata na huwag silang magsira ng mga puno, huwag silang manguha ng mga bawal.
Kasi kung matatakot kami, ano mangyayari sa dagat namin? So kaya kami po ay naglalakas loob.
Payag lang kami kahit maliit ng sahod. Ang importante ang amon pagproteksyon sa aton nga mangrove.
The future of KBAs indeed depends on its people.